My name is Emory Montgomery, and I read the book I Know What a Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, and this is my review over the autobiography as told by Maya Angelou in her later life. I read the book I Know What a Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. In this story, Maya Angelou tells her story from age 4 to 16 as her adult self with a few interjections throughout the story. Maya Angelou is a young black girl, and most of her story takes place in the South during the time of segregation and discrimination against black people and all that kind of stuff. Through this story, Maya is able to build credibility through brutal honesty, even though she is telling it from the future and looking back. She still is so really honest that you have to believe her pretty much. She also battles with displacement, and that is a big part of her life. She's moving all over the place. She's able to confirm her self-worth in the face of discrimination, and she explores the ins and outs of segregation, which might be the most important part of this whole story. Maya Angelou is telling a story about her childhood from the future. So sometimes it's hard to give credibility to the author who does this because their memory could be faded or blurry or even changed. Maybe somebody told them a story that was false and they believed it. So sometimes it's hard to know if a older person telling the story of a young child is really all that credible. But throughout the story, Maya Angelou does not leave out any detail about herself, her family, or anybody around her, which makes the story really easy to relate to. She and the people around her are not perfect by any means, and she's not scared to put that all out there. And this is really shown when she tells things about her brother Bailey that he might not want in the world, or about her grandmother or her mother or her dad. She's not afraid to tell their truths as well as her own, so that shows that what she's saying is most likely true, and we can believe her because she's not going to leave us in the dark about anything. This is a list of a majority of the places that Maya Angelou moved to in her time period of this story. And she was constantly being displaced. She lived with her parents at a very young age and then was sent off with her brother by themselves to live with their grandmother in another state across the country. Then she moved in with her mother and her mom's boyfriend for a while. Then they moved back to their grandmother's house. Then they moved in with her mother again. Then Maya moved with her father and his girlfriend. I think her brother went that time too. And then Maya moved by herself with a group of homeless teenagers, where she really learned a lot about diversity. Then she actually moved back with her mother after living there for a month, and her brother left living with them as well. So no matter where she was, things were always changing. And every time she seemed to get used to a place, she would then have to leave it. Or every time she started to appreciate it, something would change and they would have to move. Some places she obviously liked more than others. She really liked living in San Francisco with her mom, and she even liked living with the homeless teenagers because she learned a lot about herself and about diversity. But no matter where she lived, she always was able to find a little piece of what made her Maya Angelou, what made her her. Maya Angelou was very proud of herself and had great self-worth despite all of her hardships and everything that came to her. She was able to combat it and have self-worth, and I think that was amazing the way she did that. She knew she was mostly good. She quotes memorizing Deuteronomy, and she knew she followed these laws in Deuteronomy that she would be good and hopefully go to heaven. And she could even watch other people boast about the religion and do all these quote-unquote bad things, and she would know in her mind that That's not what it took. You didn't have to boast. You didn't have to do all these things to be a good person, to be religious. And she was proud of herself for knowing that. She also knew she was smart, and despite this, she challenged herself constantly to know more and become smarter. She was constantly reading. When she was behind somebody in class, she would do everything she could to catch up to them. I believe she graduated second in her class out of like 8th grade when she was about 13. And she was just right behind the person in front of her the whole time, and fighting to catch up to him. She loved Shakespeare. She was constantly seen reading. She also knows she's kind, and she knows she's kinder than many of the white people in the world, at least the ones who are being discriminating towards her and her family. And she knows she gets that from her grandmother. Or if she doesn't know that, she at least is kind because her grandmother is kind and teaches her to be. And finally, she knows she's capable. And she knows she's so capable that she fights to become a streetcar driver, even though the hiring system is discriminatory. They don't want her to be hired, but she still fights, and she becomes the first Black female streetcar driver in San Francisco. Maya Angelou deals with all the things I've previously mentioned, all while most of her story takes place living in the South as a young Black girl, like I've mentioned, when Blacks and Whites are still segregated. She still has to deal with this every day. In fact, she grows up not even believing white people are real. She finally goes into the white part of town and doesn't even see these beings as people because they're not like what she is used to and what her community looks like. Because of this, she is very much shaped by segregation. She later in the story gets a really bad toothache that is like numbing. She can't do anything. She can't sleep. She can't get away from this toothache, so she's like, I have to go to the dentist. And her grandma takes her to the dentist, there's only a white dentist in the area, and says that he owes her a favor from the past and that her granddaughter really needs tooth care. But he says that he will not treat a Black girl. He will not even put his hand in her mouth. That would be like putting his hand in a dog's mouth. And this breaks her mama's heart, her grandmother's heart. And still, Maya Angelou is able to power through this. They literally get on a train and go to another state. They go to Texarkana to get medical care from a Black person, a Black doctor. And then eventually towards the end, Maya is already nearing adulthood, and she is just now faced with true diversity for the first time when she lives with a bunch of homeless people who are of all different races. She lives with Mexican people, Black people, and white people. And she really begins to appreciate this. She becomes part of their culture in a way, and while she's only there for a month, it really changes her life. So she really is shaped by segregation, and she really changes throughout the story in a positive way.